This is what a political crisis looks like in real time, not on a debate stage, on a city street. In Minneapolis, a convoy rolls through, protesters walk alongside, and then chemical agents hit the air. The video is raw, and the fallout is now in federal court. We're breaking down what you're seeing and what judges, officials, and investigators are saying it means. Watch closely. The crowd is shouting at federal vehicles, arguing there's room to leave, and accusing agents of looking for an excuse to escalate. Then the moment happens. A canister goes out, people scatter, eyes burning, coughing, and the street scene becomes the headline. Whether you see this as crowd control or provocation, here's the key. This isn't just about one burst of gas. This video is now part of a much bigger fight over federal immigration enforcement in Minnesota and how force is being used in public. So, who's in charge here and who's accountable? To answer that, we go from the street to the courthouse. Local reporting identifies the man at the center of these scenes as Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bovino, who has been publicly defending the operation as legal and ethical. But the courts are now a major part of the story.
All right, good afternoon. My name is Greg Bovino. I'm the Commander at Large for Customs and Border Protection Assets here in the great city of Minneapolis. I'm here to talk with you today about interior enforcement, border security, and making our communities and our nation a safer place. Now, folks, let me be clear from the start that public safety in Minneapolis is not negotiable. When violent criminals exploit gaps in enforcement, gaps at that state and local level most especially, federal law enforcement has a responsibility to act. That is why we are here, and that is what this operation is about. Our operations are lawful, they're targeted, and they're focused on individuals who pose a serious threat to this community. They are not random, and they are not political. They are about removing criminals who are actively harming Minneapolis neighborhoods.
Last week, a federal judge in Minnesota issued an order restricting federal agents from using force, like tear gas, against peaceful protesters, and from stopping or detaining drivers simply for following from a safe distance. Then the big twist. The Eighth Circuit Court of Appeals froze that order, siding with the federal government, for now. And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem publicly argued the ruling didn't change tactics, insisting chemical agents are used only in response to violence. Here's what makes this case national. It's not only Minnesota. In a separate Chicago case tied to earlier DHS operations, Judge Sarah Ellis wrote that Bovino's testimony was not credible and accused him of evasiveness and even outright lying at points under oath, language that's now resurfacing as critics scrutinize his role in Minnesota. Meanwhile, Minnesota's Metro surge has intensified since the January 7th fatal shooting of Renee Good, and confrontations have continued, including new deployments of chemical agents. And the political stakes just jumped again. Fox 9 reports that DOJ served grand jury subpoenas to 6 Minnesota government offices, including Governor Tim Walz, Attorney General Keith Ellison, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, and St. Paul Mayor Cooley Herr. What to watch next? 3 things to watch in the next 72 hours. The appeals court's timeline. Will the restrictions return, tighten, or disappear entirely? What DOJ's subpoenas are actually seeking? Emails, directives, coordination, or public messaging? And the political showpiece. The White House says Vice President J.D. Vance will visit Minnesota to meet local leaders and deliver law and order remarks. So here's the question this entire story is begging. Are we watching a justified enforcement mission under pressure, or a federal operation pushing the edge of civil liberties, with courts trying to pull it back?